Ireland's civil war is one of the most frightening and disturbing movies ever made. The movie horrifies with its bestial brutality and delights with its beauty. The movie is not about America and its current problems. It is about all of us. It's a movie about human nature and the horror of any war. The movie shows the war unvarnished, shows what people turn into inside the mad society. Every gunshot in this movie is very loud, so you can feel the weight of every bullet. The film is shown through the eyes of a young journalist who is only yet to see and learn all the horrors of war. In the beginning, she is afraid to even stick out from around the corner, and at the end, she is ready to sacrifice her life for the sake of a beautiful shot. The movie shows, through the example of journalists, you are just outside observer, but only until it affects you. The movie shows how almost any politician plays war as plastic soldiers on his desk. The film does not glorify the war. On the contrary, it shows what war-torn country becomes. There are several scenes in the movie during which you sit on the very edge of your seat and watch with bated breath. The most advertised and at the same time probably the best scene of the movie is the horrifyingly realistic scene with Jesse Plemons asking the characters what kind of Americans are they.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here.
What?
Well, you're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
Kirsten, one scene that really has stuck with me again is when your character encounters a menacing soldier who asks, "What kind of American are you?" Right? Mm-hmm. Your real-life husband, Jesse Plemons, I was so shocked that it was your husband. He was so terrifying as that soldier, sort of the embodiment of all of our fears in a divisive and divided America. He wasn't originally supposed to be in the movie, right?
No.
How did that happen?
Well,
and why was he so good at that?
The actor had dropped out during rehearsal, and I was like, Jesse's in town with the kids, so I felt that. I signed him up for that role, but I did. But yeah, he talked to Alex Garland about it and read the script, but it's a very, very, very intense scene. I mean, he plays a brutal racist
He does.
in this scene.
It's incredible. Now, Wagner, you say that as an immigrant from Brazil, that was the hardest scene for you to film.
It was very hard. It was personally, I had read, of course, the scene before, and I was like, this is a very strong scene.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting it to hit me so hard when I had Jesse Plemons asking me for 2 days, what kind of American are you?
Yeah.
I am an American citizen, but I'm not from here. I grew up in Brazil, but I live here. I care about this country. And to kind of, that was very, because it summarizes lots of things like racism, anti-immigration feelings, xenophobia, all that is also a result of this polarization that we're talking about. So it was it was very hard for me. Like in the end, we shot it for 2 days. When we wrapped, I had an emotional, I really thought it was this grass that I laid down on the grass and I was just crying for.
Wow. Can you look at her husband now?
I love him.
He's such a good
love him
sweetest
so much.
man. I know.
The movie creates genuine horror and tension because we, like the characters in the movie, don't even know who is standing in front of them. The horrifying portrait of a divided society which does not even care who to shoot at.
You don't know what side they're fighting for.
Someone's trying to kill us. We are trying to kill them.
Says one seemingly banal thing. But judging on the current geopolitical situation in the world, people started to forget. War is not a heroic campaign for justice and new territories. War is horror, fear, mountains of corpses, and endless pain for everyone. The movie came out at a very difficult time, a time when we are closer than ever to pressing that very red button. Maybe watching a movie like this will help some people to understand what they are waiting for. Or maybe it is too late for some people to understand anything. This road movie takes us along with the characters through a country plunged into chaos. Along the way, the characters meet both crazy nationalists killing people for not the most clear English and people who are living in a bubble, trying not to notice the horrors happening all over their country.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Every time in a film there's a sense of joy I really like. I really love when they, because with this we were saying before, in these situations we tend to think that people succumb to the horror of what's going on, and that happens too. But people live their lives, in war zones. People go to bars. When I was in Bogota, I was the most doing Narcos. People were going out during the bombs and everything back in the 80s. They're living their lives, and I like the fact that. And I think Joel is a character that brings all the time this sense of joy, of excitement in a car.
There's a sense of levity in the scene and relief. So it sets itself up like something really bad is going to happen, which then gets diffused. But that is setting up something really bad that happens. So yes.
This movie became the most expensive in history of Studio A24. The budget of the movie was not big by modern standards, amount of $50 million, but the movie looks amazing. The scale and scope of the movie is at the highest level. The movie balances on a very thin edge of a full-fledged anti-war blockbuster and cruel and uncompromising art house. The main characters in this movie are photojournalists, trying to cover the events as honestly as possible. The character of Kristen Dunst is a legend in the profession, a habitually unemotional professional. She hoped that the wars she covered in her reports would keep her country out of the war. But she was wrong, and it's destroying her from the inside.
I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
Lee's been a photojournalist for a very long time, and she wears that on her and her experience. And Kaylee's character comes in and kind of ignites Lee in a way that I think she hasn't felt in a very long time. And there's a connection there from the very beginning, a soul connection and an understanding of each other that's unspoken and grows as you follow it.
All the actors play great. The characters are alive and interesting. You feel for them despite the fact that they are not the most pleasant people. In the movie, there's intentionally no positive side. It only shows the madness of what is happening. We are also not told the reason for why the Civil War started. The movie is very deep and definitely important in our times. I came out of the screening devastated, and it took me a long time to get my thoughts together. The movie is definitely not for everyone. It is a very heavy movie on extremely difficult topics. Personally, for me, Civil War is the best and at the same time the most important movie of 2024. This is an incredibly atmospheric and ear-rolled movie about human nature and the horror of war.
God bless America.